I got hairy legs that turn that turn.
Cancel me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side.
Now, Cat Williams is absolutely correct. Now, this is what they don't want you actually saying. Now, Michelle Obama had Cat Williams on her podcast, and she brought up an interesting point. And Cat Williams sometimes answers the question better than these preachers because when Joel Osteen, I think it was the Larry King show, he asked him, was Jesus the only way? And he would answer the question. Now, I'm not telling you to look to Cat Williams for your spiritual advice, but what I do notice is that Cat Williams talks about God more than these fake preachers talk about God. Because I've heard people tell me, Dr. Common Sense, could you just stay on the other stuff and leave the God stuff out? Michelle Obama asked this question to Cat Williams, something pertaining about his strength and all of this, and his response was classic. It seemed like she was a little uncomfortable with a queer-looking brother sitting right there. You take a listen to
it. I would say, if you believe in God, take.
That's a good question. He said, if you believe in God,
as much pressure off of yourself as you can.
That's scriptural. Cast all your cares on him because he cares for you, right?
And apply that pressure to him.
Which is no pressure to him.
If you believe in God, then you know that in his books.
He ain't got but one though. He's off right here, but it's okay.
He's got certain contractual obligations.
I agree with him. I agree. If you do what, he's not going to let you starve. Now, everybody's not going to be rich as Cat Williams. Everybody couldn't handle Cat Williams' fame and fortune.
As well. It's certain things he has to do in certain situations.
Right.
And it's okay if you put him in those situations.
What you say?
It's okay for you to say, I believe there's a God, and I believe that if there is, he loves me, and he would.
Did you hear that? I agree with him 100%.
Help me in this situation. It is impossible for you to do that and then watch something happen and not know where that comes from.
Ooh, they're finna get uncomfortable now.
And so any artist, I would just say, make sure that your relationship with God is one of the relationships that you're also working on.
Michelle can't even relate to this. You never hear Michelle Obama talking about God. As a matter of fact, you remember when Kamala Harris was going to her rally, when they inserted her in there, you remember what she said? Some people stood up and says, Jesus is Lord. She said, y'all at the wrong rally here, because we don't believe in that God, Jesus stuff up over here.
It's spouse, kids, everything else. Make sure to pay attention to your relationship with God, because
you hear that?
It really is the difference maker.
I agree with him 100%. It's the difference maker. It's easy to say, even when you make a mistake, if you really got God as your anchor, you can come back. But when you make some of these mistakes, you go too far down the path. Who's going to bring you back? You can't bring yourself back.
And how things turn out. Everybody doesn't serve God. Some people.
Everybody doesn't serve God. You're looking at the woman who was supposed to be married with a fellow with a fake family. I agree with you.
Serve the devil. And
you serve the devil or God. Ain't but two to serve, one or two. No, it's real. The devil's real and God's show is real.
They put him in positions, and it's terrible to say, but if that person has a better relationship with Satan than you do with God.
Woo! Have mercy. If the person has a better relationship with the devil than you have with God, you may be in trouble. So in other words, he's saying, you letting this heathen or this Satan worshiper be more dedicated to his God, which is Lucifer, than you are to your God.
That's your fault too. And so,
Michelle has said, she ain't saying nothing. Usually, remember when Barack Obama was on there? And he was saying you need to get yourself a gay mentor. Do you remember that story? See, she's not comfortable with this.
I think that's the only advice that I would give to an artist is to find your higher power. And
well, see, I want your higher power to be the true God, the only true and living God, though.
Connect, because until you do that, you're just a rudderless ship out here.
Woo! Where you get that text from, boy, for you preach that sermon like that? Woo! You sound like St. Augustine on here.
And I know from my own personal experience that it doesn't matter how young you get that relationship.
Now, here's the thing. See, Michelle Bums, would you please shut up, damn it? I hate to ask the question. I didn't know you was going to go there. I think Cat Williams adopted like 6 kids that wasn't biologically his, but the woman that he had a child by, she died. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comment. But if my memory serves me correctly, he was dating a woman. They had a kid together. He never married. I think she died. I don't know what from. And he took on all the kids, adopted all the kids, and took care of them. And God blessed him. And it don't seem like he's not perfect. I'm not saying none of us, Jesus is, but none of us are. But he seems like to me that he's done right by these children. He's helped these children. And it seems like to me that he still gives God credit. I can't say the same for a whole lot of people. Now, he said something about God in another interview, but you do remember the interview with Barack Obama telling you to get a gay mentor. Barack Obama and Michelle never mentioned God.
That's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy.
Not exposure to one guy. That has a host of different meanings, that part right there. Because you done had a bunch of guys in your lifetime, I see.
One dad.
So you don't need one dad. You need a bunch of baby daddies. Now, somebody going to say he's talking about mentors, but do you really want that to be your son's mentor?
No matter how good the dad
is, he can't be everything.
Michelle's talking on this. She's with this program. But what Cat Williams was talking about, she wasn't with that program.
He can't be everything. And then that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So the boy's going to get some perspective on his dad. You ever heard any crap like this? This is so unbiblical.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor.
One of the most valuable things he's ever learned was from a gay professor. I'm not going to say it on this video, but I can imagine what you learned from your gay professor.
In college. At a time when openly gay folks still weren't outlawed.
Why don't you come out the closet then, damn it?
Became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy. And
what's his name? I think you're lying. What's his name?
Would call me out.
Say his name. Say his name.
When I started saying stuff that was ignorant.
Like what? Give me an example of that.
You need that. To show.
Look at his gay brother-in-law. Child. I know you right, honey. his freaking sissified brother. That boy looked more feminine than Michelle Obama.
Empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or what have you, they have somebody that they.
Can you believe this clown? Now, just listen to the way he talk as opposed to how Cat Williams talk. There's a difference, isn't it?
Don't believe in God, then it's pretty messed up because now you only got you to believe in.
Woo! If you don't believe in God, you only got you to trust in. See, trust in God, lean not to your own understanding. The seculars, the communists, the humanists, the Michelle and the Barack Obamas, the Kamala Harris, they said trust in yourself and lean into your own understanding.
If you got you and God, you can believe in both of those. I talk to God 5 and 6 times a day.
Barack Obama and Michelle hadn't talked to God 5 times their whole life.
He has an accurate account of how I'm feeling about everything, how I think things are going, what I feel like I'm doing good at, what I feel like I need help with.
Isn't that funny that Cat Williams talks more about God than the quote Christian president, a former president, Barack Obama? And you still got some jackasses who actually think that Barack Obama is a Christian. Mm-hmm. Oh, I know something. I know you ain't talking. You ain't can't say nobody ain't a Christian. I just said your mama ain't either. How about that? But here we have Cat Williams speaking boldly about God. I saw preachers don't even speak this boldly about the Lord, how he talks to them and stuff. They got to talk about their money and blessing. You don't hear T.D. Jakes sprinkles a little Jesus there when it's convenient. But he's talking about, because I believe he is a powerful power. Where's T.D. Jakes at anyway? I'm worried about it. I'm worried about him. I know he stepped down. I think his daughter, son-in-law took over or something. But seems to me that Cat Williams have more of a relationship, or he's willing to talk more about God than the former president and most of these fake preachers, especially when they go on these secular shows. I remember just not too long ago, Yolanda Adams, the so-called gospel singer, she from Houston too. She was on some secular show. I don't know what the trash was calling God a hurt. This is not her first time saying it, by the way. She said this on another occasion too, because she don't really believe in the so-called God she's singing about. Because somebody might want to ask her, when did God ever refer to himself as a her in scripture then? Because she probably never reads the Bible either. But here's the problem. But I heard some people saying that Michelle Obama was flirting with Cat Williams. Get out of here with that. I'm not going to allow you to slander Michelle now, because Michelle is not interested in sex. See, this is worse than when you people were saying that Barack Obama was cheating on Michelle Obama with a female. I say you vicious lies must stop. Barack Obama, I vouch for this. He would never cheat on Michelle Obama with a woe man. I want to specifically say that. Never would he cheat on her with a woman. Not going to say anything about males, but with a woman, you're lying. And when you say Michelle Obama is cheating on Barack Obama, are you freaking kidding me? Michelle Obama is not interested in sex, period. She's never been pregnant, by the way. Yes, I said it. What you going to do about it? Show me the pictures. You see that bell ringing? That's saying, the chimes are ringing saying, absolutely not. Cat Williams is saying on here, he talks to God, and if you allow some satanic worshiping person to have more faith in their God Lucifer than you have in the God of heaven, Jehovah is his name, he said, you got a problem. Preach, son, preach the gospel.